Hello, realigners. How are you? Hope you're staying warm. Those of you who are in the Northeast, it's been a cold few days. I'm in my favorite warm sweater. Um, so anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about, Christy mentioned a live or two ago about, you know, habits that we create, and she was talking about the shoulder and how, driving your car in a certain position can cause the shoulder to be out of line, and that different things we do in our day-to-day life can cause our body to be out of line for when we ride our horses. And that got me thinking about habits and habit loops. And I talk a lot about habits in relation to mindset and stuff. But, and I also do talk about them in relation to position, because everything we do, our brain automates. So our brain actually automates habits. Um, it If it didn't, we would be like stuck, just still, like it's 10 o'clock in the morning here, or almost 11 now here. Um, I would still be like brushing my teeth, because it would take me so long to think about getting out of bed and think about turning off the alarm, because it wouldn't be a habit, and think about whatever it would be, getting in the shower and all that. I might not, it would take me forever to get done. So the brain automates habits to make us efficient, right? And the brain does not differentiate between good and bad habits, right? So it just does what we tell it. If we tell it to do something regularly enough, it does it. And it will do it with mindset issues, and it will do it with physical positional issues. So if you drive your car a certain way all the time and sit in a certain position, the brain's going to start wiring to understand that's the position you're in. The body, the muscles and everything will, and Christy can speak to that more authoritatively than I can, but it's going to be, wired to, this is the way the body is supposed to be positioned. So then you have a kind of a double thing. The brain's wired that way, and then the muscles and everything physiologically get set that way. And then you got to work not only to stretch them or shorten them or do whatever you need to do, strengthen them. You also need to tell the brain that that's not where you want them. So, there actually is a habit loop that occurs with habits. So you have a trigger, a behavior, and a result. So let's use the car analogy Christy talked about for the shoulder. Triggers: I'm driving my car. The behavior is I settle into this position, because this is the one I do. Settle into this position. And the result is twofold, really. In the moment, it feels comfortable for me to drive, right? So that's the immediate result, and I'm happy with that, so I do it. But if you want to dig deeper and research into the result is I get this body and I actually have worked with, my hips and things that are out of line. If I'm in this position when I'm driving, it just reinforces this whole position in my spine and in my hips and with all those muscles that I have to actually pay a physical therapist to fix, right? And work to fix those habits and create new ones, which I'm doing. But the trick is, if so again, some of these habits that we create are good, and some are not so much. And I don't want to say bad, because if we get bad thinking about things being bad, it gets so negative. It's more like, this isn't something I want to keep. If I can fix that, and the same thing with you, if you have a habit, a physical habit, body, mindset habit, that you notice and that you can really dig in and see, oh, I do this and this creates this body, me sitting this way, me doing this, whatever. I have these issues with my body, and then I carry that onto my horse. And because I've made my body crooked off the horse, well, how do I expect it to be straight on the horse? If you can start understanding where this all occurs and what the cause of maybe this positional issue may be, you may find out it has something to do with your anatomy, and you can't change certain things, but you certainly can strengthen them. But if you know that, like me, I know I have some scoliosis, so I can't make my spine straighter, but I can strengthen it, right? There are things I can do. But so you start noticing these loops. What's the behavior? So for me, it would be, oh, when I get in my car, I lean like this, and that causes my body to be out of line. So I have to be conscious and say, well, I want to change that. And once I notice first where it's coming from, where this positional issue, and same thing happens with mindsets too. If I, get on my horse and get nervous because the wind's blowing, I know as soon as the wind blows, that's the trigger. Behavior is I get tense, and the result is my horse is tense. So any of these habits can be mindset wise, they can be body wise, but shifting the brain and triggering, the triggers and making those changes really aren't that different. Other than in the body, you have, and pardon me, Izzy, of course, always loves to join me. And it's like, it's like little kids. You get on the telephone, and there they are. Not that I have kids, but my friends say that all the time. But as soon as I start a live, Izzy's right here. So anyway, um, and she's talking too. So if you have these positional issues and you want to change them, you have to dig into where the root is, and that's where the work has to be done. Once you see that this doesn't get you the desired results you want, and maybe this it's not such a great thing, then you look for what's my better option. What would I prefer to have? So then I would have the choice when I get in my car to say, I need to sit up and be more straight with this so that I don't cause that issue. I do the same thing when I sit on the couch. It's the same way when I'm watching TV. I need to be aware of that so that I can work on strengthening that off, here, and it won't bother me here. So if you can think about it, it's about something you do off the horse that creates an issue when you're on the horse. So, kind of interrupting that habit loop and replacing the behavior with something that's more positive. So my behavior getting into the car would be I'm going to sit up straight and really keep my body straight. It may not be as comfortable as I think it is leaning leaning to the side, but it's more comfortable and better for me in the long run. So, and in order to make any sustainable change, like I said, you really have to dig in and identify that habit that's creating the issue. That's the most important part. That's, work on your part. It's curiosity on your part. It's wanting to get it done and really digging in. And then, like I said, once you do have that, then you can replace it with a new habit. So first thing you need to do, if there's anything mindset wise, body positional wise, dig in, be curious, spend some time during a week and say, what happens here? Why are these things happening? What's causing this to happen? And really be curious about it. Don't get discouraged. Just be curious. Don't fix it. Just be curious. That's your first step. And then you start putting in the steps to make changes and make sustainable changes. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Hope you guys have a good day and stay warm out there for those of you in the Northeast with us. Take care, everyone.